Namaste. Welcome to Ahimsa Life. Today we're going to be doing a warrior series from a seated position. So if you haven't already, please watch my previous video on finding the proper chair to support you for this series of yoga postures. You have to make sure that whatever chair you choose, there's enough narrowness and enough height in order to be able to support your torso comfortably, with your legs being able to be supported by the chair and being able to put some weight into it. You are obviously doing chair yoga because you can't necessarily support yourself for a long length of time from a standing position. So please watch my previous video to make sure you are set up correctly on your chair. And then we can start. So let's just start by sitting nice and tall with the legs spread and just taking a moment to close your eyes and come in and breathe deeply through your nostrils. Just take some time to feel what's going on, starting just to open up in the lower body. My feet are pressing down, my heels and mounts of my feet are supported. I'm going to just lift my toes and spread them and then bring them down. And then my torso is sitting up nice and upright. My spine is elongated. I'm thinking about each vertebrae working up the spine. And from that nice erect position, my shoulders will automatically open up my heart center. So if you were rounding, your shoulders will come forward, and then if you're leaning back too much, everything kind of sags. So nice and upright. Just a couple more breaths. And then just let it go. And we'll set up for our warrior two. So the first thing we want to make sure is that chair is underneath my torso, and I'm going to just start by concentrating on my front leg. So I want my knee directly in line with my front heel. And then I'm going to bring my back leg out so my pelvic floor is still supported. And then my hips are parallel to my front knee. And I'm just going to bring this leg out. Now it's not in the same position as if I was in a standing warrior. If I was in a standing warrior, my front heel would be more in line with the center of my back foot on the instep, but that is really not something that I don't have enough flexibility. If you do, great, but just work with that back leg, bring it where you need to, so out in front, and the angle of the foot where you feel an openness. So I have being able to take this back leg, and there's an outer rotation. I'm thinking about bringing this outwards, and my hips can be in line with my front knee. And from here, you can just bring your hands onto your waist and breathe. And my spine is still elongated. You can bring your hands onto the front knee, or you can bring them up overhead or to the side, working the top body in a comfortable position again, and breathing deeply. And from here, we're going to bring our arms down. And then I'm going to slightly adjust my back leg so that now I can bring my hips to be parallel to the TV screen. And again, just adjust, take a few moments. We want that back leg extending downwards. We're pressing into the outside of that back heel. This leg is, we're thinking about an external rotation. Sorry, just take time because it's not easy to get here. So make sure you adjust. And then again, front heel in line with the front knee and as close to 90 as you can comfortably get. And you can just bring your hands onto your waist, or you can bring them to shoulder level and then spin your head to look over the front arm. And breathe. So our chests are facing the TV screen. And make sure you're able to take that full belly breath and you're able to smile. If you're not, you aren't in a good enough position. You aren't supported enough. And then when we want to go into our extended side angle, we're going to pretend we're going to push, taking the whole torso through the front. Then we're going to drop that front arm, and then my back arm can either be supported, my hand can be on the hip, it can come into the same diagonal line as my back leg, or I can bring this front arm back and opening up the torso. And again, breathing. And I have to be honest, this is about my 5th take, and my legs are starting to really feel it. And then to come out, we're going to lift up. I'm going to let my back arms come down, and then I'm going to lift my front arm up, looking up, extending from the whole torso upwards into my exalted warrior. And breathe. After about 6 breaths, we're going to come through warrior 2, come to face front, and then adjust just for a sec. Let your knees come in and out like you were doing a Charleston, and my feet are also going from my inner foot to my outer foot, just letting go of all the tension that's been created. You can even give yourself a little massage. And then we're going to set up for the other side. So again, starting in our warrior 1. So front knee over front ankle. My pelvic area is supported by this chair. And I'm going to move that back leg out just a bit. So I have a nice extension, and then play with the angle of the foot to make it comfortable. So anywhere from a 45 to a 90. And we're thinking about that back leg externally rotating out. My front hips are endeavoring to be in parallel to the front knee. Or sorry, I should actually say, guess that would be perpendicular. My geometry teacher would be very upset with me. Bring your hands onto your waist and just watch that you're not coming back. That's a huge burden on your back. So my front body is a little bit coming into a slight angle. It's extending from the back leg. And you can bring your hands onto your waist. Again, you can bring them into that cactus T. Bring them up overhead, whatever's comfortable. Or you can even play here, raising up on an inhale and exhaling down to that cactus T. Deep, full breaths. Make sure you're still able to breathe, still able to smile. Couple more breaths. And bring it down. And then we're going to bring that belly towards the front. I'm going to adjust my back leg a little bit so that my front knee is still over my front ankle. I still have that beautiful extension in the back leg. This inner thigh is aiming to rotate out. Obviously it can't. And I have my foot in a 45. My belly is now facing towards the TV screen. I can extend my arms out, or you can keep them at your waist, is totally fine. And then look over your front arm. Sit nice and upright, engage that core, take deep breaths and smile. So I'm thinking about that back foot, pressing into that outer foot from the back pinky toe to the back heel. Thinking about this spinning that way towards the back. Really pressing into the heel on the front. And then next time I'm ready to breathe in, I'm going to bring my whole body forward like I was trying to open through a door. Drop that arm, and then this arm can either come up overhead to extend in that diagonal. It can come behind you so that you are opening up your chest, or you just bring it onto your waist. And breathe. Super stretch right in here. Breathing deeply. If you can't hold it as long as I am, then just ease up, move it out, and then come back when you can. And especially if this is your first time doing the Warrior Series. As I said, this is about my 5th take, so my legs are really feeling it. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to bring my back arm down. I'm going to face forward. I'm going to flip that front arm, palm back, and I'm going into my exalted warrior. Again, my whole upper torso is strong. My belly button is in. My heart is open. And you don't have to bring your head up. You can just look forward. And then drop that arm down. And then just so both my feet are facing outwards. And then just bring the knees in and out, allowing yourself to come onto your inner foot, your outer foot. Just release all that tension. And breathe deep. Exhaling audibly just kind of lets any of that tension go. And then bring your feet back together. So namaste. Thank you for joining me for this Seated Warrior Series. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please don't hesitate to ask them below. Like me on Facebook and share me with any of your friends that might also want to live an Ahimsa life. Namaste.